Yo, 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 what is up, y'all? My name is Rob Donaldson, and welcome back to another edition of Rob's Best Bets. And, man, kind of bittersweet making this video. I gotta be honest, because this is the final game of the college basketball season, and, you know, we've cleaned up, you know, on the back end of March and April, and we've done really well the entire season on top of that as well. But it's still heartbreaking, right? Because, man, this sport is so fun. It's so enthralling. And even though the NCAA tournament, you know, the entirety of it may have not been, you know, the most exciting in terms of upsets or phenomenal games every single time out, you know, the Elite Eight, the Final Four, I felt like they delivered a really great punch. And I do feel like this Florida-Houston matchup is a really fun matchup here in the national championship game. Only one bet from me here in this video, so I'm going to keep it relatively short for you guys. I don't want to make you guys jump through a bunch of hoops to get towards the pick, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at this matchup here on Monday in the national championship. And again, both of these great teams have earned their spots in this national championship. There was no easy road to get here. You know, when you look at Florida, they had to overcome some really great deficits just to get into this position. It was a comeback win against Auburn last time out, and the time before that, they had to come back against Texas Tech. And then, obviously, Houston with one of the best comebacks in recent memory for the NCAA tournament against Duke, who was the predominant choice to be the national champion. So, no easy roads, a lot of fun games, a lot of intense games to get to this point. But, man, now the stage is set, and if I were to outline these two teams and kind of put it into an encapsulation analysis, I would say that the personnel advantage lies with Florida, because I think they have the better top-end players. I also think that they have the better depth in terms of their roster top to bottom. But if we're talking about coaching advantage, or if we're talking about having a defined game plan, well, Houston is the team that has the edge in both of those departments. Now, my pushback there, and this has been my personal standpoint for years, betting on national championship games, whether it be professionally or on the college level, you need to have guys who are built for the moment, right? Because everything is on the line. Everything is in your hands to potentially define your destiny, maybe to define your career. This might be the final game that a lot of these players play in college basketball, and heck, for the coaches as well, that goes the exact same way. But when you are looking at both rosters, again, I want the team that has the hoopers, that at the end of the game can make the big shots, can create their own shots, and make things happen late. And we've seen that angle from both of these teams, Florida and Houston, but what we've seen from Walter Clayton Jr. and Elijah Martin have really kind of transcended the scheme that Florida brings to the table. And I do feel like Florida, from a coaching standpoint, from an execution standpoint, even from just a pregame game plan standpoint, have all been really impressive this season. You can't have as many second half comebacks as Florida has without good coaching. And I know that it's easy to try to poke holes in Todd Golden because he's not really accomplished at the college basketball level just yet, or at least in comparison to a guy like a Kelvin Sampson, but this guy can coach. And I'm totally willing to back the team that I think has the better players and a young, true up-and-coming coach, not just a guy who landed on third base and is starting to kind of try to boast himself up to something that he's not. So let's go ahead and take Florida on the money line for 4 units for our final bet in the 2025 college basketball season. All that being said, I really want to thank you guys for checking out today's video, and man, it's been a great season. I want to thank you guys for making it the most memorable one for me on this channel. Heck, there was a time during, you know, February, March, and then even bleeding into April where I was uploading a video every single day, usually 2x. And if you guys have been following this channel for, you know, the past 2-3 years, you know that that's not always the case. I kind of go through these spells of, you know, being exhausted after getting off work, or, you know, just not really being in the total motivational mindset to make a ton of videos, because it really is a grind when you already have, you know, a day job on top of editing these videos, recording these videos. And the fact that you guys actually showed up, showed love, left comments, shared it on social media, that's what made the difference for me. And I can't thank you guys enough for all of that there. But with all that being said, it was a great season. We made a lot of money doing it, and let's go ahead and run it back again next year. But until then, I will see you guys in a future video. Take it easy.